Hi, is this Mr. Picard?
Yes, myself.
We're very interested in the events of January 23rd, 1960, when you descended to the bottom of the Mariana Trench with Lieutenant Walsh.
Yes, sure. Our base was in Guam, and until we could arrive to the precise place of the Mariana Trench where we were to descend, to dive, we had about 4 days to tow the submarine with a tugboat, but the weather was relatively poor. The sea was very rough, windy, some rain also, I believe, and so on. But as soon as we start the dive, it was absolutely quiet, and the blue of the light was absolutely beautiful. And remember that the Trieste was made with a sphere in which we were protected from the pressure and from the water. And as the sphere was heavier than water, it was fixed to a container of light gasoline, which gave the buoyancy for coming up after the dive, you know. So we start to dive relatively slowly first, and due to the physics of the bathyscaphe, normally when you dive faster and faster. After arriving to about 1,000 feet, it was relatively darker, and then gradually, as soon as we were continuing the dive, the water was darker and darker, and when we arrived to approximately 600 meters, which is about 2,000 feet, it was completely night, you know. We have searchlights, so we could use our searchlights to try to see something else. It was some plankton in the water, not very much, but we could see some like snow which was going up as we were going down. And everything was smooth, so we could keep in touch by telephone with the surface. We said everything is fine, we are now in 2,000 feet, 3,000 feet, 10,000 feet. But when we arrived at approximately 15,000 feet about, then the telephone stopped. Then we continued, we arrived to 5,000 meters, 6,000 meters. I believe I can speak in meters. Everybody is knowing that about 3 feet is making 1 meter. When we arrived at 10,000 meters approximately, we could hear a kind of shock, noise and a small movement like a very small little earthquake. So I stopped the bathyscaphe to take a few minutes for thinking about this noise. If the bathyscaphe is starting to dive again very, very slowly, it means that our equilibrium is good. And that shock that we felt at that time is absolutely with no importance at all. That's what happened really. We continued to dive, and 200 meters below us, on our fathometer, we could see the bottom. So I slowed down the submarine, and finally, at 35,800 feet, we touched the bottom on the deepest known place in the earth, or at the sea. And another thing which was very interesting, no oceanographer at the time could know with precision if a well-complicated, well-organized life was living on the bottom. We could see one fish, nothing special, not like the deep-sea fish that you can see in the dictionary and encyclopedias and so on and so on. It was a flat fish, might be a flounder, not more than 1 foot at the most as a length. Being on the bottom, we said, well, we'll try the telephone, maybe it will work again. The sound took approximately 7 seconds to go to the surface and 7 seconds to go back again. We heard the surface, hello, Trieste, wonderful, how are you? We are glad to hear you. So it happened that the telephone, which was not working at 5,000 meters, was perfectly working at approximately 11,000 meters. The surface boat was not still on the surface. It was going for a few miles on the east and west and north and south and so on. And the communication was good, whatever the depth was, just when the surface boat was on the vertical of the submarine. But if the surface boat was too far away, nothing could arrive to the antenna of the boat. We could tell in advance we will arrive at 4 o'clock this afternoon. And I believe we arrived at 2 minutes before 4, so it was practically exactly what was expected and computed in advance. So this is the story of our dive. I am just sorry that nobody did it again after us, but sooner or later other people will build new submarine for great depth, new bathyscaphe, and will certainly make other dives in these places.